بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Interpretation of the Holy Quran.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. With the help of Allah, we started to have an easy interpretation and very short interpretation of Quran, and we talked about verse 1 to 20 of chapter Naziat.
فأراه الآية الكبرى فكذب وعصى ثم أدبر يسعى فحشر فنادى فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة والأولى إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى.
Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, فَأَرَاهُ الْآيَةَ الْكُبْرَى. So he showed him the mighty sign. فَكَذَّبَ وَعَصَى. But he denied and disobeyed. ثُمَّ أَدْبَرَ يَسْعَى. Then he went back hastily. فَحَشَرَ فَنَادَى. Then he gathered men and called out. فَقَالَ أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. Then he said, I am your Lord, the Most High. فَأَخَذَهُ اللَّهُ نَكَالَ الْآخِرَةِ وَالْأُولَى. So Allah seized him with the punishment of the hereafter, after the former life. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَإِبْرَةً لِمَنْ يَخْشَى. Most surely there is in this a lesson to whom who fears. In these verses, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala refers to the sentence that belongs to the Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. I am your Lord. He told his people, I am the Lord and Most High. But Moses was guiding him, and he said, وَأَهْدِيَكَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ. It means, but he guides him, and he says, I'm going to guide you toward your Lord. It means people are trying to find their Lord, to obey him and worship him. Since their nature are pushing them to worship the Lord, Pharaoh is using this point, and he says, I am your Lord. Worship me and obey me. Then Allah says, فَأَخَذَهُ اللَّهُ نَكَالَ الْآخِرَةِ وَالْأُولَى. What is nakal? Nakal is a type of punishment. It is very severe punishment that anybody will see such a punishment, he will go back and he protects himself. He tries not to do such things to have such a punishment. Allah is talking about Moses and Pharaoh, and he says, فَأَرَاهُ الْآيَةَ الْكُبْرَى. He talks about his miracle, the miracle that Moses showed by the permission of Allah to Pharaoh, and Allah is talking about that, and he says, Ayat al-Kubra. It means the miracles are not the same level. They are different, and when it comes to the Pharaoh, it should be a special miracle. The biggest one should be for Pharaoh, because Pharaoh is the one that is misleading a lot of people. So the miracle should be the best one and the highest level one. فَحَشَرَ فَنَادَى. Okay, what was the reaction of Pharaoh? Allah wants to say the reaction of the rebellious people they try to deviate people. They call people and mislead them because they want to keep their being, to protect themselves. And they get help from the deviated people. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, أهديك فأراه الآية الكبرى. It means Moses is the one that he is guiding the people, and Allah is the one that he shows his miracle through the Moses to Pharaoh. When there is a miracle, it means if Allah wants to guide a person like Pharaoh, it needs some miracle. If you expect Pharaoh to obey, there should be a miracle. If you want people submit themselves, of course there should be miracle. The claim of the Prophet should be mixed with the miracle. الآية الكبرى فأراه الآية الكبرى فكذب وعصى. For the proud people, of course, the biggest miracle should be there, and sometimes even the biggest miracle are not going to help, are not going to work. Allah showed the miracles and the biggest one, but what was the result? فَكَذَّبَ وَعَصَى. He denied and he committed sin. Al-Ayat al-Kubra, we said, the biggest sign. It means even the miracles are not in the same level. Some of them are higher than the other. فَكَذَّبَ وَعَصَى. Okay, what is the reaction of people? It means even in front of the miracles, all the people are not going to accept. Because people want to follow their desires and fulfill their desires. Their desires push them to commit sin and enjoy their life. So when prophets are guiding them, they tell something and their desires are telling something else. Because they don't want to stop their desires and they want to enjoy their life, so they reject prophets' guidance and they start to follow their desires. So we should not be disappointed if we do something and some people are not going to listen. Even in the time of Prophet was guiding people and many of them did not obey. فَكَذَّبَ وَعَصَى. ثُمَّ أَدْبَرَ يَسْعَى. Okay, they denied. It was enough? No. They went behind and they started to work, to have a plan and to work a lot to fight with the good people, righteous people, and pious people. When people, non-believers, are not able to talk with the reasoning and prove, then they will go behind and they start to make a problem. فَحَشَرَ فَنَادَى. Allah says, okay, what was the reaction of Pharaoh? He gathered men and women and all and called out. It means it started to have a chaos in the society, to make a problem in the community. He said, أَنَّ رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. The nature of the people naturally seek God. And naturally they try to know who is the Lord to worship. And Pharaoh used this point and he said, I am your Lord. أَنَّ رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. At the end, when Allah says in behalf of Pharaoh that he said, I am your Lord, فَقَالَ أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى فَأَخَذَهُ اللَّهُ النَّكَالَ الْآخِرَةِ وَالْأُولَى. It means there should be a punishment. He disobeyed and he denied and rejected the miracle of Allah. That's okay. There should be a day today or the day after. Very severe punishment. فَأَخَذَهُ اللَّهُ نَكَالَ الْآخِرَةِ وَالْأُولَى. And nakal, we said, is a very severe punishment that proud people will be humble in that day. Then Allah says, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَإِبْرَةً لِمَنْ يَخْشَى. Indeed, there is a lesson in this story for whoever wants to learn something. Sometimes we don't want to learn anything. But if we want, these stories are going to help us. We understand when Allah says, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَإِبْرَةً لِمَنْ يَخْشَى. It means from the history we should choose some parts that are going to help us. Some stories in the world happen that they are not going to help us anyway. They are not good stories in the viewpoint of Allah. But those stories that are helping us spiritually, helping us to learn something, we are encouraged to read them and talk about them. Please listen to the verse 27 to 33.
أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها رفع سمكها فسواها وأغطش ليلها وأخرج ضحاها والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها والجبال أرساها متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم.
Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاء بَنَاهَا. Are you the harder to create or the heaven He made it? رَفَعَ سَمْكَهَا فَسَوَّاهَا. He raised high its height, then put it into a right, good state. وَأَقْتَشَ لَيْلَهَا وَأَخْرَجَ ضُحَاهَا. And He made dark its night and brought out its light. وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. And after that, He spread the earth. أَخْرَجَ مِنْهَا مَاءَهَا وَمَرْعَاهَا. He brought forth from it its water and its pastures. وَالْجِبَالَ أَرْسَاهَا. And the mountains He made them firm. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. A provision for you and for your cattle. In these verses, Allah says again, أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاء. Is it more difficult to create you, creatures, everything? أَمِ السَّمَاء بَنَاهَا. Which one is more difficult? Are you the harder to create or the heaven? Of course, Allah wants to say, it's not a big deal to create you in Judgment Day. Look at the heavens and earth and anything in between. Allah has created, and you know it. Then you will be surprised again if Allah says, I'm going to create you again in the day after. So, when you want to preach, one way, the best way of teaching others is to bring the question up. Then Allah says, رَفَعَ سَمْكَهَا فَسَوَّاهَا. First, رَفَعَ سَمْكَهَا, it means Allah pays attention to the tangible issues. The heavens are on the top. He raised high its height. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, put it into a right, good state. It means the second one is intellectual concepts. First should be something tangible because people will understand easily. Then intellectual concepts. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. Allah says we have created everything for you. We are not for this world. The world is for us. We should not misuse the word. Some people have business to live, and some people live to have business. Then Allah says, مَتَاءً لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. It means when we look at material success, we are the same with animals. مَتَاءً لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. They are good for you, they are good for you and for your cattle. You are the same, but spiritual issues, this is something that makes different between you and animal, between us and animal. مَتَاءً لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. It means Allah will not accept the restraint. We should use and get benefit from blessings of Allah. They are created for us. Nobody should restrain himself not to use anything in this world. This is wrong. Then Allah says, وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. The expansion of the world and the orbit of the earth is after creating the world. We ask Allah to help us to obey Him and worship Him as He wants. Thank you very much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.